Moves, and more moves from this Cowboys front office. Whether you like them or not, you do have to acknowledge that this front office has been much more proactive this offseason compared to last. That means we're back with another video talking about another signing, this time a very familiar face. Dante Fowler signs a one-year deal worth upwards of $8 million with the Dallas Cowboys. And yes, if you're wondering, that makes it the most expensive contract that Dallas has given out in a decade. Like since Greg Hardy back in 2015, which is diabolical in itself, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Dante Fowler, a guy that has been with the Cowboys, but last time he was here, he was in Dallas with Dan Quinn. Then in 2024, he followed Dan Quinn to the Washington Commanders and probably had one of the best years of his career, if not the best. Dante Fowler has bounced around the league after being a first-round pick. Who would have guessed? Another first-round pick. We're collecting these things like they're infinity stones at this point. I literally just made a video talking about the 3 criteria that the Cowboys front office needs to sign somebody, and being a first-round pick was one of those, and Dante Fowler, he checks that box. So he's a Dallas Cowboy again. And if the Cowboys would have signed him after 2023, I wouldn't have been nearly as impressed as I am now, because he had such a good year in Washington last year. It really makes me excited for this signing. He only started 7 out of 17 games where he had 10.5 sacks, which was the second most of his career, only behind his 11.5 sacks he had for the Rams back in 2019. And that season earned him like a 3-year bajillion-dollar contract. I'm not really sure the numbers, but his 11.5 sack season back in 2019 got him a huge contract, and the Cowboys just got him for a 1-year deal worth up to $8 million. And I would argue that 2024 was even more impressive than 2019 because he didn't have a guy like Aaron Donald on the interior. In Washington, he was their best pass rusher. I'm not really sure how he's a free agent. He's only 30 years old, and when you look at his production from last year, he had 10.5 sacks, 45 quarterback pressures, a 14.6% pass rush win rate according to NFL Pro. He played 309 pass rushing snaps and then had another 27 run stops. He played like 199 run snaps. So he did all of that. The 10.5 sacks, the 45 quarterback pressures. He was actually extremely efficient when he was out there on the field. And he did all of that while only playing 51.6% of the snaps. If you're looking for Dante Fowler to be the most productive pass rusher possible, I think that's the perfect numbers. That is where you're going to get the most out of Dante Fowler, especially at this point in his career. I actually think that he has some tread still left on the tires. Even at 30 years old, he didn't play a ton of snaps last year in Washington. He wasn't really beat up and bruised by how much he was playing. He's always been that rotational pass rusher, and in Dallas, even with this being one of the more expensive free agent signings of the past decade, I think the hope is with him coming in here that he's still a rotational guy, somebody that plays 40 to 50% of the snaps, that works in with Sam Williams and Marshawn Kneeland. I think it's the law of diminishing returns if he does have to play 80% of the snaps like some other top-end defensive ends. So I think the Cowboys are signing him to work in behind Marshawn Kneeland and Sam Williams in those pass rush specific situations. I'm sure you guys remember there was a time in 2022 and 2023 that if Dallas got a team into 3rd and long and Dante Fowler was out there on the field, Parsons, Osa Odigizua, teams could not pick up 3rd and longs. I really like the signing. Dallas needed an edge player, and they got an edge player. Probably their best signing of free agency, in my opinion. I think it raises the floor of this defensive end room, gives you a guy that has proven he can be a NFL player, an NFL defensive end, along with hoping that Williams, Kneeland can be good in 2025. But if they're not, because a sophomore second-round pick, Sam Williams is coming off the ACL injury, so having Fowler makes you feel better about the edge position moving forward. And when you look at what the Cowboys have really focused on in free agency, it's been the defense. I think this means that the draft this year is going to be an offensive one. They'll probably take a defensive player here and there. They have 10 total picks, but it feels like we're headed towards a offensive heavy draft, maybe taking a running back or a wide receiver or a combination of those two in the first and second round. So we are going to do a post free agency mock draft. So if you want to see that, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I'm really excited about this free agency edition. You guys let me know what you think down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I love you all, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.